Check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slang. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score roar. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the ball, Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide? Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
What's going on, good people? What is going on? Happy Thursday to you. If you are in the South Jersey area, I don't know what's going on in Philly, but right now it is cats and dogs where I am right now in South New Jersey. We got a little thunderstorm coming through. I should say not a little one because it's thunder booming outside. And so the potential exists that if this live cast, if this live stream cuts out, is because for some reason we lost power, because it is thundering and lightning out there right now. So I'm just letting you know. So what's up? I got my people here on YouTube. Carlos, first out the limo, Chris 3K, Quentin, Function, Key Chanel. I appreciate everybody. I got TikTok rolling on my phone over here. If you are on TikTok and you want to get on, I will have the mics open tonight because clearly we got some stuff to talk about. I'm not going to hog this whole conversation. I'm definitely going to let you get your opinion in because, man, I read the article. I read the article about an hour ago. And I was like, man, you I can't even talk, man. Use your words, Marcus. You can't win for losing, dude. It's like, so I read the article. First of all, Jeremy Fowler, who was this? Jeremy Fowler and who else was this? It was somebody else. Tim McManus, I think it was. Tim McManus and Jeremy Fowler. They dropped this at 6:00 this morning. So, of course, it was the talk of the town today. It was on all of the networks. It was on everything. Everybody had something to say. Everybody, something was going on about it. Now, I read the whole thing. It was a long article. I read through the whole article. And we're going to get into sources. If you saw my thumbnail, you already know how I feel about that. Everybody got sources. And I'm like, isn't it funny how the sources are always the exact perfect source, right? It's always the exact perfect person to see what's going on, to be close to the situation. Who is sources? That's what I want to know. I gotta find this guy. You know what? Devin Caney got some free time. I know maybe she can do some investigative reporting. So maybe she can help me find this dude. Who the hell is sources? And how is he always so close to everything that's going on? That's what I want to know. Because I've said this before. If you've been in a locker room, if you've been on a team, if you've been in any type of organization, I want to know if there's somebody on my squad, if there's somebody in my organization snitching. Who's snitching? Who tattletaling? That's what I want to know. So where is this coming from? Make sure my door closed so I don't drive my wife crazy. Where is this coming from? Who is sources? We got to find that out, man. Good grief. But reading through the article, did I think it was a hit piece? It is very pointed. So yes, I would say it like that. Because I guess in my opinion, most of the stuff he said that was mentioned in the article has probably happened to any top level quarterback. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be friction. There's always, I like to use the example that the dynamic in a locker room is more familial, like a family. And I don't know who has a family that at some point in time, you don't fight with somebody in your family. Siblings. I got 2 siblings. I got a twin sister and an older sister. Me and my twin sister used to fight all the time. Argue, I should say. We never fought, but you understand what I'm saying. Brothers, you already know. If you got a brother, older brother, younger brother, you know how that dynamic is. He might get on your damn nerves, but let somebody mess around with him. And somebody gonna catch hands. That's the dynamic in a locker room. It is a family. So when you find somebody in your family that's snitching, you running out and telling somebody this, and you look at the article, and it's always somebody close to the exact piece of information. How can somebody be a source close to the quarterback, a source close to the huddle, a source close to the team, a source close to the sidelines? These damn sources is everywhere. How is that? This dude has G34 military clearance, or he has got ninja level skills. He is like Snake Eyes, man. He dropping the smoke bomb and he is out of there. Can't nobody see him. He got Predator level stealth technology. He got something going on because we can't never see these sources, but these sources are everywhere they're supposed to be. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? If you got some things going on in your family and you find out somebody in your family is telling all your business, problem. Big problem. So my question is, who's snitching? That's what I want to know. And are we just going to take it for face value? Are we just going to, because here's the thing. You never know what was said. You never know what the context was. And you don't know how somebody's going to take what was said to them about a situation. Because if you've been in this game long enough, if you looked around, and I'm talking about being an athlete at the pro level, when people ask you questions, you can give a 5-second answer and somebody can write a 5-paragraph piece on your 5-second answer. So what they do is take a little bit of what you said and make it go a long way. That's what these dudes on TV, that's how they work. What did I say the other day? Sure enough, I see Colin Cowherd and already, I told you. They talk on both sides of the fence. They give you just enough content that's pro, and then they give you just enough content that's con. So regardless of what happens, they've got receipts either way. So they just covering their ass. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Tiff, you know what, Tiff? I can't argue with you. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you tell me, you think everybody in New England liked Tom Brady? They liked Tom Brady because of what he did when he was winning. But when you going through that process, I guarantee you Tom Brady was getting in folks' grills, and there were some people that didn't really like Tom Brady, but they understand the results and they understand why he did what he had to do. I guarantee you, it was probably some people that really didn't care for Patrick Mahomes because he had to do what he had to do, but they understand the results. They ain't there to be your friend. In my opinion, the only good thing that may come out of this is finally everybody's going to get on the same page of A.J. Brown wasn't lying. But we all knew that. A.J. Brown did what a leader is supposed to do. You're supposed to call it for what it is. And not for nothing, they don't know what kind of conversations they was having in the film session. The film session is where it go down. Don't get it twisted. Film session is where folks get cussed out. Film session is where folks get embarrassed. That's where it goes down. So I'm confident that there was probably some not so comfortable conversation in some of those film sessions because they trying to iron some things out. I already said a couple weeks ago, especially with the situation that we found out with Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, they flying all over the world getting stem cells and all of this kind of stuff. And Cam Jurgens has got slip disc sitting on his sciatic nerve. And now you understand how bad the offensive line was. And that's another thing we got to bring up. They kind of just, the offensive line was okay, so we couldn't run the ball. They just kind of glance over that. They just kind of glance over that. That's the reason why our offense couldn't get going. How are you going to influence linebackers? How are you going to influence the safety if you can't run the ball? If you can't run the ball up the middle, why would the safety ever worry about coming up to support the run? Why? We couldn't do it. Tackle to tackle, we were trash. Then come to find out, Cam Jurgens could barely walk. And I'll say it again, just to be transparent and just to keep it 100. I was in my feelings when Jeff Stoutland decided to walk away. But when you look at the whole situation, if you got a guy that can barely move, how come his backup wasn't in? Next man up. Ain't that's the way it's supposed to work? The next man up. How come his backup wasn't in? How come Brett Toth wasn't on there? What was the situation? Obviously, it may be some things where we didn't know, but you telling me the backup could not do what Cam Jurgens was doing? Cam Jurgens was on a struggle bus. And then we find out he couldn't even walk. I'm embellishing a little bit, but if anybody's ever had a slip disc, a back injury, let alone sciatica, I myself have never had sciatica, but I've seen people with it, and I've seen people go from walking to on a knee in less than a second. Because when that nerve hits and it shuts everything down. That sciatica is like T.I. going to a club that didn't pay him. I'm shutting all of this shit down. So they glazed over that. Everything works together. We knew that the passing game wasn't great in 24 when we went to the Super Bowl. But Saquon Barkley was getting it done, so the balance was there. The balance was there, so he made it work. So even if we couldn't even get some really good consistency, you know what the one thing that was consistent about Jalen Hurts was when we went to the Super Bowl? That deep ball. You know why it's making that deep ball effective? Because the safety had to make a choice. Your strong safety and your free safety had to make a choice. Because if it even looked like Saquon was getting that ball, trouble. Because that joke was most likely going to be in the secondary, on the second level, trying to take it to the house. And you had to respect it. That opens up the deep ball. That opens up the middle, the middle, and it opens up deep. Because if I'm a safety, if I'm a DB and I'm running and I turn my hips to run with AJ, to run with Smitty, and I'm not looking back, and if Saquon hits that second level, I'm late to the party. I might get him, I might not. And y'all saw 2024, Most of the times they didn't get them. It all works together. And because our inside run game was trash, our offense was one-sided. We were pigeonholed because linebackers wasn't moving, safeties was coming up, or safety was bouncing out because they knew Saquon couldn't get to the second level. Saquon making people miss 2 or 3 yards in the backfield. Come on now. We can't just skirt over that. I talked about that before. What was that? On Kay Adams' show, when Andrew Whitworth was on there, and he had the audacity. And let me say this: I am a Andrew Whitworth fan. I love what he does. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. He knows what he's talking about. But for whatever reason, he got on a national show and had the audacity to say Jalen Hurts or let's say Saquon Barkley just needs to run a little bit harder. Now, don't bounce around so much and just hit the hole hard. What? Clearly, you haven't watched any of our games. Clearly. You didn't see that Olay block from Cam Jurgens? Didn't block a soul. That happened 2 weeks in a row. So you got to keep it real. And I'm not saying some of this ain't on Jalen Hurts. Some of this is on QB1. That's why he QB1. It comes with the job. If the offense and the passing game is looking suspect and you QB1, guess what? You got to shoulder the load. That comes with the territory. It's in the contract. That's your job to carry that load. A.J. Brown ain't never lied. Never. I can understand if Jalen is stubborn and wants to do things that have made him successful, but because hell, he went to the Super Bowl and should have won. We didn't lose the Super Bowl because of him. He beat the best in the business, and we was a bad call away. You win some, you lose some. But that year, what A.J. Brown was doing, we was quick slanting him to death. And y'all know I say this all the damn time. Everybody and their mama knew we were going to run a quick slant to A.J. Brown, and they couldn't stop it. So don't tell me we can't throw the ball in the middle. Don't tell me we can't get the ball to number 11. Don't tell me what we can't do because we already saw us doing it successfully. And all of a sudden, it just doesn't work no more? No, there's some things that you got to get right. Jalen wasn't at his peak this past year. But you know what? We had a couple of games where we dropped some balls. Dallas. Dropping balls in the red zone. Jalen putting it on the money. Dropping balls. Penalties. There were some games that we lost that wasn't on one. But you got to shoulder the load because you won. You QB1. Comes with the contract. That's what you're supposed to do. Now we get all of this other stuff. And I'm sorry. I don't give a damn what Jeremy Fowler or Tim McMahon said. I do not believe that Jalen Hurts called for verts. So you mean, and so tell you what, I'll take you at your word. He called for verts. You as the offensive coordinator couldn't come up with nothing better? You watching the same game, that's your job. You supposed to be down with what that play is and the play call and what the defense is supposed to give you. You got all of that stuff. Thank you, Cateus. K. Rowley. I feel you. I appreciate you. K. Rowley X is in the building, y'all. Lego Builder 2283 is in the building, y'all. Holla at your boy. That's what I'm talking about. Arthur 26 McQueen is in the building, y'all. They are on the squad. We got new draft picks coming in. That's what I'm talking about. Nota Ryu, new draft pick coming in. That's what I'm talking about. Let's keep it popping. Indian Lake, Ohio. Shout out to all my folks in Ohio, baby. You already know I'm a Cincinnati boy. Rage the System 91 is in the building. Another draft pick. That's what I'm talking about. Keep them coming. KGK, keep them coming. Another draft pick. I appreciate you, man. Welcome to the squad. Come on, Q. Appreciate you, bro. You just not getting around to some subscribing? Come on, Q. What's up, Jim Webster? Appreciate you, man. Keep the draft coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Who else we got? What's up, Nancy? Nancy by the scratcher. Appreciate you. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the squad. Yeah, time to get my Hurt season shirts. It's that is annoying, man. Just like when I see stuff like this, and not for nothing. Why now? How come? So I guess only certain people have access to certain sources at certain times of the year. Is this how that works? Are the sources under contract? Is it not in their contract to talk to them early? Like the whole thing with sources, man. I understand the game. I know how the sausage is made, but it just sounds like some bullshit. It sounds like, you know what sources sounds like? And I've said this before. Just think of somebody on your job, doesn't matter who, and your spouse picks you up from work, and as you are walking to the car and driving away, they hear a piece of a conversation. And from that piece of a conversation, they got your whole relationship mapped out. That's what sources is. It's almost like they hear a little bit, they hear 5 seconds of a 5-hour conversation and they roll with it and they just make up the rest. And it's like, oh. And again, I go back to what I said in the beginning, man. So you mean to tell me it's somebody in and around the Philadelphia Eagles that's snitching? Is this where we at right now? We got to deal with somebody snitching. Come on, YouTubes. Come on, TikToks. Y'all know we don't play that. That doesn't fly on any level. You're supposed to be on a squad and you got somebody, if you're doing a project and somebody on your team is going and ratting out to the supervisor what everybody else is doing or something, man, you looking at them like, are you real? Are you for real right now? Nah, we ain't having that. We ain't having that at all. It is so interesting how this works, man. So interesting how this works. And everybody always got something to say. And guess what? It don't matter. Let's just say all of that is true. Am I going to sit here and say everything that he said is false? No. There's some truth to some of the things that he said, but there's also a lot of that stuff you can say about any starting quarterback in the league. However, the one thing that trumps everything, in my opinion, and y'all know me, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. The one thing that trumps everything in that article is Jalen Hurts got a chip. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? The chip trumps everything. It would be different, and the conversation would be totally different if Jalen Hurts never won. They would have got rid of him and moved past him so fast, it would have made your head swim. They'd have been talking about, yeah, Tua has had a better career thus far, and you would have heard everything. Maybe they can move him to receiver. You would have heard all that nonsense, all of it. Just imagine, and it's weird I even got to say it like this. Just imagine. Now I can't say it like that. I was going to say, just imagine if Jalen would have had the career like Lamar. Really, really good, never won. What would everybody say? You can't win with him, because that would be the end result. That would be the end result. Josh Allen got 2 offensive coaches fired, but they still love him. He still get every chance in the world. They still gonna ride or die with him, and it's like, we looking for stuff. People in Philly are looking for stuff, man. Yeah, Ian, shady. Listen, I don't know what it is with us former players where everybody and Shady's obviously Shady is his stardom is mega. So I don't understand, because then you look at the situation that happened with Acho, Emmanuel Acho and Leonard Fournette. It's like, why are we doing this now? And don't tell me if you're not in the locker room every day, if you're not talking to them people every day, you don't know. I don't care who you know and who you called. And whoever you called, if they're not in the locker room, you don't know. You just don't, man. So it's frustrating, man, bro. For you, Art, 100%, bro. They knew it wasn't gonna happen, especially when we lost the first one. When he lost his first one, what was the story after Jalen Hurts lost in 22? The story was he was great. He was the best player on the field, but it's so very difficult to get back. That was his one shot, and he couldn't do it. It is so hard to get back to the Super Bowl. He's going to be hard pressed, and they had everything in the world against Jalen Hurts, but he got back again, and he won the chip and was the MVP. Stop playing with me. Everybody got something to say, but y'all forgot about Dre. Come on now. Come on now. We wasted that opportunity last year. We wasted that opportunity last year. And in my opinion, the biggest reason was not Jalen Hurts. And I'll even go so far as to say the biggest reason wasn't Kevin Patullo. I know that'll rub some people the wrong way. The biggest reason why last year was a failure was because our offensive line couldn't function. To me, that was it in a nutshell. If you can't win in the trenches, you can't win. Cam Jurgens is the most important piece on a team. The center is the most important player on the field. You know why? Because he's got to handle the ball before the quarterback even touches it. Most people don't think of it like that. Tom Brady is as good as he was. What happens if Tom Brady got a sorry-ass center that's got somebody in his grill right after he snaps the ball, or can't snap the ball with any consistency? There's always an issue. Happens all the time. Why you think all the centers don't make the Pro Bowl? Why do you think that some defensive tackles and nose guards are better than others on certain teams? Because they know who they playing against and who they can wreck shop with. The center is the most important person on the field because they touch the ball every time. Sometimes the quarterback don't even touch the ball. What happens if they do a trick play and they do a jet sweep and the center snaps it, but directly to the running back or directly to the motion receiver or something like that? The center touches the ball every time. If your center can't get it done, you in trouble. Cam Jurgens is crucial to our success, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. I said it before. If our offensive line was anywhere close to what they did in 24, Kevin Batula will still have a job. Because we'd have been able to run the ball effectively. And when you can run the ball effectively, that opens up things for you in the passing game. It covers a lot of warts, but it also opens up a lot of things and makes it easier too. It all works together. And a huge piece of our offense was not functioning correctly. Not the drive, the drive shaft was off. Whatever you want to say. We needed a new air filter. You had knocking in the engine. I don't know. The suspension was off. Whatever analogy you want to use, it wasn't working. And when you look at how bad the offensive line and how we couldn't run block, when you look at that in the macro, we still won 11 games. So I'm like, hold on, man. Hold on. You writing this article to say a lot of the problems was on Jalen Hurts. Well, he's the quarterback. That's what he said in the article. That's what Fowler said in the article. The 9 or 10 sources that we had, Jalen Hurts' name kept coming up. Well, no shit, Sherlock. He's the quarterback. His name is supposed to come up. He's the starting quarterback. The reigning Super Bowl MVP up until Seattle won. So, of course, you're going to hear his name a lot. That's an obvious thing to me. But they push the narrative like it's all on Jalen. And guess what? Jalen won a Super Bowl and was MVP. So maybe, just maybe, his way does work. Did you ever think of that? If you have a coach, let's just say, for the sake of argument, just hypothetically, what happens if they would have fired Sirianni? Who would they want as a coach to come in here? They would not want somebody at the same level. Like, they would not want to hire Sirianni all over again. Remember when we hired Sirianni and the shit show that was? Nobody had heard of him. Planting flowers. None of that stuff. Philadelphia was crashing out. They were like, who the hell is this guy? They felt worse about Sirianni than they did about Doug Peterson when we hired him. Nobody thought Nick Sirianni was going to last 2 years. At the end of 2 years, they thought he was going to be out. They thought he was going to be out. Thank you very much for the super chat. Yes, we did break the internet. Absolutely. Absolutely, we broke the damn internet. Because folks didn't know what to say. Because now it's like, well, now what? Now what's the problem? He's never gonna. That style of quarterback is not gonna win. He can't throw. He's never gonna take you to the Super. Now what? Now what? Who had the best deep ball in the NFL 2 years ago? Now what? Smitty and AJ Brown had 1,000. Who threw him the ball? Now what? Get out of here, man. I'm not trying to hear that nonsense. Not trying to hear it. Y'all on some BS stuff. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. Again, it would be a totally different conversation if Jalen was not winning. But he is. So you can take a little bit of the ups and downs. But for the most part, again, when you look at this macro, because you can't say, it's another one. You can't say he had one good year. but he's never going to take you to the promised land. You can't say that. His record as a starter is ridiculous. Now what? Now what you going to find to say bad about him? I gotta look at what's his name? What's your boy that just got traded from Atlanta? What's the quarterback that they paid 20 million or 120 million to whatever for somebody that only had one playoff win? Atlanta did that. And they had him as a backup. Do we need to Kirk Cousins? Thank you. Kirk Cousins need to write a book. How to be a bajillionaire with without a good NFL record. Good Lord. And people just they get mopped. Some people just have that thing. That's the best way I can say. They got it. Whatever it is, whatever that recipe is, Kirk Cousins has it. Because people just forget his history. They forget his track record. And they just think, well, I guess he just checks all the boxes. He got the height. He got the arm strength. He's a pocket quarterback. Can't run worth a crap, but that's what they're looking for. He meets all of their measurables. He meets every measurable except playoff wins because he only got one. I don't know. Because they will give people like him, and no shade to him, he'd be stupid not to sign them contracts. But quarterbacks like that, they give so many, the leash is long. The leash is long. So I don't. What do you have to do to get that type of respect? Win the Super Bowl? Oh, he already did that. Our quarterback did that. And he still don't get the respect. For what? When you're talking about moving the damn goalpost, good Lord. They constantly moving the goalpost. Constantly moving it. For what reason? I have no idea. Jalen Hurts released the children's book the same day they voted him the most hated player. Who voted? That's what I want to know. Who voted? And why on earth would you vote him? Jalen don't say shit. He ain't in the media. He ain't got baby mamas. He ain't drunk driving. He ain't crashing out on nobody. He ain't got a podcast. So who voted? And based on the things that I've heard about his personality, he don't hang out with a lot of people. He keep his circle tight. So most of the people who voted? Answer that question. Who voted? That's what I want to know. All 12 of them. Because I don't get it, man. Man, they be moving that goalpost something fierce, bro. Something fierce. I don't. If y'all hadn't read that article, go ahead and read it, and come up with your opinion on it. Yeah. Be more careful. Yeah, listen, man. I did a whole video on that about the whole that this kind of touched on the Acho thing, Emmanuel Acho and Leonard Fournette, and that bully aspect of it. And I never understood that. I understand it. I'm grown. I understand it. What's his name? What's the guy on the pivot? Channing Crowder. He didn't start it, but it popped up when he was talking about Russell Wilson being with Ciara. And the only thing he could muster up, and the only thing he kept saying was, why would she want to be with a square like that? Like saying that the square was like, obviously, you know what that is you got somebody don't drink, don't smoke, don't hit the clubs, no baby mamas, all of that shit. All of the nonsense that Russell Wilson doesn't take part of. And for some reason, Shannon Crowder couldn't figure out why she would want to be with somebody like that. And my question is, as opposed to what? And what it comes down to is you if you doing dirt, you always want somebody there with you. You don't nobody want to do dirt by themselves. Don't nobody want to do dirt by themselves. You always somebody don't want to take the blame with you. If you want to, if somebody out there running on they spouse, they want somebody to be there with them. They don't want to do it by themselves. So stuff like that, I remember seeing that in college. I saw it in high school. It never changes. There's nothing. I think somebody said it in the chat. When you don't do none of that nonsense, when you ain't going out drinking, when you ain't biting people, Puka Nakua, when you're not about that life, people get mad at you. I never understood that. Why do they get mad at you? Because I was lucky when me and my sister came up in high school. Me and my sister used to roll what we call Big Blue, right? My mom had an Aerostar. Mind you, this is the 80s, mid 80s, 84 through 88. Was me and my twin sister was in high school. And we lived out in the suburbs, but all our friends lived in the hood. Let's keep it a buck. So we had to travel. So we always went to them. But everybody know we would roll 8 deep in a damn minivan. But what they knew was, because back then, everybody knew your parents. Everybody knew everybody else's parents. Everybody respected the parents. But everybody knew if they rolled with us, they was going to be safe. They was going to get a ride home. They knew we wasn't drinking because my dad didn't play that. So they trusted us to get them from point A to point B. So everybody would, because, we coming through. 8 deep, let's go. But you would always have some people that would want to clown you because, come on, man, you don't want to smoke nothing? You don't want to drink nothing? You don't want to do this? You don't want to do that? No, I don't. Because my dad would beat my ass. And if you don't get into the nonsense, if you don't get into the bullshit, they can't drag you in with it. And I guess they resent you for it. And you would think that shit would fade away when you got out of high school, but it doesn't. That's the funny part to me. It doesn't. If you keep your nose clean, people are just itching to find something wrong with you. And the only thing they will do is see they ain't perfect. Ain't nobody said they was perfect. They just don't like to smoke and drink. What's the problem? That has a lot to do with it, in my opinion. I said this the other day. Could you imagine the first big report that gets hurt to actually clap back? They're gonna be rich for life. Absolutely. But that's the thing. They gotta make this stuff up because Jalen don't say nothing. It's the same thing with Jalen and AJ. Why you get so much content about them and they don't say nothing. And the truth of the matter is AJ really don't say nothing. Everybody talking about the tweets and all that kind of stuff. Man, get out of here. AJ Brown gonna deal with shit the way he want to deal with it. AJ Brown dealt with suicide, bro. However you got to deal with it that makes you feel better, AJ, do what you got to do. F everybody else. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Keep it moving. If you're going to be mad, you be mad by yourself. But whatever you got to do to keep yourself together, however it works for you, do it. And that's what people can't understand. Everybody wants somebody else to do it their way. And it don't work for them. They got to do it their way. Stay out of their life. AJ Brown is a diva. Get the fuck out of here. AJ Brown is hardly a damn diva. Jalen Hurts ain't no diva. Ain't nobody on our squad on offense a diva. The closest thing we had to a diva in the last 6 seasons was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And I don't even call that a diva. He just had that attitude. He just had that. That was his personality. He was out there. He talked a lot. He'd get in your face. Everybody got that famous when he was with the Saints and he jumped up in Tom Brady's face when they played the Buccaneers that one time. And he stood in his face like and pissed Tom Brady off. And he stood right there like, now what? So that's not necessarily diva behavior. That's just his personality. He loud and in your face, and that's what he do. AJ Brown ain't no damn diva. Y'all do realize we in the city of Terrell Owens. So we know what diva behavior is. And y'all done forgot that? And I've said this before. Some of y'all Philly fans, hey, y'all need to turn in your hard card because your skin ain't as thick as we thought it was. Tweets and he read a book and y'all bitch about everything. Too much time on sports talk radio. Less time watching the game, watching film, studying what's really going on. Everybody's following narratives. I played the game and I'm still studying film because I don't know everything. And you get these jokers on the radio, they never played nothing. The only thing they got is they hot takes and opinions. And it's like, until you've been in that locker room, there's certain things, because everybody's had an opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But your opinion gets overshadowed when you're dealing with somebody that can be empathetic. Not sympathetic, empathetic. Meaning, I have been where you have been. I've been in the locker room. I've been on the field. I've been in a blitz situation. I've been through blitz pickup. I've been sacked before. People that have actually been through the fire, been on the field, been in the game, know what it takes, know what the vibe is. You can empathize. Don't forget that. It don't mean that we don't listen to what you say, but you get to a certain point where you're talking about things that you don't know about. That's the problem. You got these guys that get on TV and just same thing happened last year. Remember last year with Ryan Clark and what's his name? Peter Schrager. He got all butthurt because he said, well, you didn't play, so you won't know. Nah, don't belittle me. And well, nah, this ain't got nothing to do with belittling. You talking about somebody that's been through the same thing and can empathize with the situation. He ain't want to hear it. All he thought was, oh, you telling me I don't know what I'm talking? No, I'm telling you, I've been in that situation. But everybody get their feelings hurt because they ain't never been in this situation. If there's something in my eye here, if they'd have been talking about something about journalism, Peter Schrager could have stepped up and said, Ryan Clark, I'm talking about something that you don't know about. Something that you don't know about. He'd have every right to do that. Because now you're talking about something that he can empathize with. He's been through, he's experienced himself. So he would be the expert on that. But we weren't talking about that. We were talking about something that happens on the field, happens to players. I think they were talking about what did they do after the game or something. I can't remember what it was. But Ryan Clark was right. If you ain't never been through it, if you never played, you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand the mental mindset. And he got butthurt. And that happens more times than not, especially when these guys on the radio, they throw their opinions on there, but they have zero context. They going off of what they think they would do in that situation. I'm like, nah. So, I don't know. I've been ranting too long. Somebody on what's up, Seth Miller? Seth Miller's on TikTok. I appreciate you, Seth. Somebody named 5 in TikTok asked me, do I think AJ is gone? I don't know, man. I hope not. Let me say it like this. Five. Me personally, I do not want AJ Brown to go anywhere, because if he does go anywhere, I think we're going to be hard pressed to replace that production. I do not want to go through that. In my opinion, leave AJ Brown right where he is. But the possibility exists. So all I know is Howie Roseman's going to do the right thing. And I'll leave it at that. So I don't know. I'm 50-50. It could go either way. AJ Brown could be trolling the media with all of these Patriot comments and little winks and nods. And, you know, Howie Roseman can get an offer he can't refuse. And he'll act accordingly. So kind of crazy. All right. This is what I want to do. If you're on TikTok, you can come in the chat on YouTube. I'm going to drop the link in a minute. I'm going to keep things moving. So make your comments short. We're not going to be talking for 10 minutes. Make your comments short. Get in and get out. And I'm going to keep it moving. Because if we don't have a lot of people that want to get on, then I'm going to get off, because I got some other things I got to do tonight. So I will be dropping the link in just a minute. So when you look in the chat box, you will see something that says drop the link, and you click it underneath it, and that'll bring you right to the show. So, but it's, I don't know. I can't wait to see. I think the story will have more legs tomorrow. So they'll still be talking about it. They will still be talking about it. So, Chris, I hope you got your service is good today. What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah. You got me?
I got you. Go.
Yeah, I made sure I'm good. Just real quick. I think that report was much to do about nothing, to be honest with you, because one, I think you was alluding to it earlier. I don't know what it is with sports these days. Like, not everybody got to get along with each other in order for things to work. Like, I'm really past the whole point of people trying to take shots at guys for whatever they think their character is and whatnot. I mean, at the end of the day, he's QB1, and people are going to say what they got to say, but he's going to be there next fall. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So all these things about people saying he wasn't approachable, or some of the stuff that was kind of in the report and people were trying to knock him for, I think it's much to do about nothing, really. He's going to be there next year, and the success should speak for itself. So, I think that's that. I do think, though, it does indicate that just because you win don't mean that there's not a couple flaws that can be fixed within the offense, though. So even if it is him, being a Super Bowl MVP or whatnot, it doesn't mean that obviously it's all his fault, because I don't think it really was, but that don't mean that there's not things that he can improve. So, but yeah, I think it's as much to do about nothing, because he's going to be the quarterback next year. He's proven that he can succeed, and that'll be that.
You got it, man. Appreciate you, bro. Yep.
You got me, Coach?
I got you, Cass. What's good?
Oh, man, I'm good. I would say this. While I understand certain parts of the article and get why they're looking for improvement, I'm not buying this whole he not coachable and all this bravado he all of a sudden got. This the same man that literally told Nick Sirianni when he got hired, coach me hard. Like,
exactly.
If I make a mistake, and then all this he holding the offense back. Like, we've seen too many times this season alone where he's literally spoken out, or we see him on camera saying something about the stagnation of the offense. I think he's the last person that you could blame for the offense being stagnant as far as the scheme itself. Now, does he have flaws where he misses people and everything? Yeah, but every quarterback does. No quarterback is perfect. It's just not. There's no such thing as the perfect quarterback. I just find it funny that literally not even 24 hours after the owner gushes about this man, literally saying how great this man is and how he's everything to the city. Not even 24 hours later, 13, 14 people don't like him. That is crazy to me,
I
coach.
know,
I'm sorry.
right?
That is nuts to me. I just find that to be hilarious. All this is like Chris said, all this is much to do about nothing. He ain't going nowhere. And they keep on doing all these articles. He gonna fuck around and be holding another trophy next year. Y'all keep pissing him off. And I'm all for that. So I'm all for that. So keep it talking. Keep making the man mad. They like he is the wrong quarterback to incentivize. And he's shown y'all that time and time again. So why y'all keep waking the sleeping giant? That's what I want to know.
Shake him awake, bro. Appreciate you, man.
For sure, coach.
Oh my God, you got that right, man. Wake a sleeping giant if you want to. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I'm not mad at that at all. But you're right, man. It's much ado about nothing, and the points that they made, in my opinion, are to me mundane because it's not hard to figure out. Ray Charles could have saw that stuff. So, and I've said this before, if we had the running game, if the running game was remotely, if it was half of what it was in 2024, I still think Kevin Patullo would have kept his job. And not for nothing, if Kevin Patullo keeps his job, what makes you think that Kevin Patullo wouldn't be better in 26 than he was in 25? There are lessons in loss. You learn what not to do when you lose. So what makes you think if, I know we hypothetical, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but if the run game functions, not great, just adequately, if the run game was just adequate, the passing game looks a little bit better. Maybe we win 1 or 2 games in the playoffs, and Kevin Patullo still has a job. That is a very real possibility. Do I think Kevin Patullo made some major mistakes? Do I think Kevin Patullo was losing the chess match? Yes, I do. But he's not the only one as a first-year coordinator, first-year coach. A lot of people go through the same thing. Their leash just gets a little bit longer. So a lot of things could have changed if we could have just ran the ball better. And you don't hear that a lot in any of these articles or the conversations about the Eagles. Hell, you don't even hear it that much even after Cam Jurgens went on busting with the boys. He ain't got no reason to lie. No changes were made midseason, so what hope is there for change in offseason? It was the same old the entire season. I listen, you are not wrong. You are not wrong, but my point is if you can see it, they can see it. I'm telling you, and this is where I kind of I'll separate myself and say this is something as a former player I gotta bring to the forefront. Do you think they don't watch tape? Do you think they don't scrutinize and go through and look at everything that they did wrong? That's what they did to get to this point. You don't just luck up and get a job with the Philadelphia Eagles or any other one of the 31 other teams in the NFL. You got to put in work. So, and I say that because remember, Kevin Patullo was spoken highly of by Nick Sirianni. And guess what? People still want to act like Nick Sirianni is some frat boy idiot. No. Because he went, come from a small school, it don't mean he don't know how to win. And he going to go to the Super Bowl in what? Year 3? Year 2, whatever it was? Come on. Because after he did it the first time, you said he was lucky. Now what? So all I'm saying is, don't think for a second that Kevin Patullo wasn't in the film room trying to make it right. So do I think Jalen Hurts may have made some mistakes along the way? Absolutely. And you tell me a quarterback who hasn't. Thank you. Year 2. You tell me a quarterback who hasn't made mistakes. You telling me Tom Brady never made mistakes? You tell me Patrick never made mistakes? Peyton? Do y'all remember? Maybe y'all too young, but do y'all remember Peyton Manning when his career first started? Peyton Manning was, that boy threw more interceptions than was, you talking about a turnover factory. He was selling all kind of pastries. Turnovers on sale. He threw 18 picks that one year. Was it 18 picks? He went through and took his lumps. How many INTs did Peyton Manning throw his rookie year? Peyton Manning threw a rookie record 28 interceptions during his debut season in 98. 28. Do you understand what some of the best have to go through? The lumps they got to take? Like, do you understand that? Not one time did they say Peyton Manning couldn't see the field. Not one time did they say he can't fit the ball in there. He can't read a defense. He threw 28 interceptions. But back then, they said, hey, he got to take his lumps. He got to learn. The game is eventually going to slow down for him. All of that stuff. They said the same thing. But they let him make his mistakes. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Who we got on here? Art? Art's jumping on the mic, y'all. What's up, Art? Art, you on? Go.
How's it going, Coach?
There you go. What's going on, man?
All good, man. I just wanted to make give me 1 second here, Coach. Sorry about that. I was getting like overlap volume from YouTube.
Yeah, I got you.
So I was like hearing doubles. So I just want to make a point about the Hurts thing.
Sure.
So this is what I think is going on. So I think when Hurts came out, you knew the things that were going on. He'd been benched, and most likely he was not going to be starting level quarterback. And that was set in their mind, no matter what was going to happen, right?
Right.
And let's say 5-6 years later, they are not willing to roll the tape, right? They're not willing to watch the 2022 season, 2024 season, even the 2023 season was excellent for him. Wasn't great for the team, but he's not playing defense. So what is he going to do about that?
Right.
Right. So since they're not willing to watch the tape and they just keep regurgitating what they believe from years ago, you cannot even have the conversation with them because they're not even willing to watch the tape. And I don't know about you, Coach, but I can always tell when someone's speaking about Hurts, then they actually watch the tape, and if they don't, right? Because if you actually watch the tape, you're not going to be coming crazy like this. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I've made that point many times last year. It's very easy to tell who watches the games and who doesn't. Because the reality is that a lot of these guys talking about it on these shows and stuff like that, they physically don't have enough time to watch the games.
Right.
So, and I make this point all the time, there is a difference between having watched the game and having context and a production assistant shoving a bunch of stats and notes in front of your face.
Right.
Because that's what most of the media guys do. They didn't watch all the games. They watched highlights. And then they got a stat sheet so they can go down and pick and choose and cherry pick what they want to talk about. And that's what the majority of the people, that's how the narratives get started. They don't have context. They just got stats.
They'll look at Hurts miss like
but they do deceive.
They'll look at Hurts miss like 2 passes in the highlights they watch, and then they'll go on the show and be like, Hurts was missing all night. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it gets so confusing, because they're watching little clips of the whole game that might give you a complete different impression of Jalen Hurts, and you won't realize how efficient he was, even though, for example, he only had 220 yards. You won't realize that he was setting it up for Barkley in 2024 to make all those nice runs, and he was checking into those runs when he was supposed to do a little 10-yard throw. You see what I'm saying? So they're not going to see any of that on those little highlights, unfortunately, and that's what the issue is.
Yep. I agree. They don't have no context, man. They don't watch. They like I said, they don't have enough time to watch the games. And what they do, they watch just enough to form an opinion, but sometimes they even do that without context. So it is what it is, man. So appreciate you, Art.
Appreciate you, Coach, man. Have a good night.
You too, bro.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Yeah, that was a big thing with me last year. It was very easy to tell. I was talking early tonight about Andrew Whitworth. Clearly, he didn't watch us. If you're talking about Saquon needs to just run harder, come on, dog. Clearly, you wasn't watching the game if you had the audacity to say that out of your mouth. And you're somebody I respect, a Hall of Famer. You know what you're talking about. That is an indictment even more because it made no sense. And that type of stuff happens more often than not. So it is what it is. I can't wait for Sean Mannion. I can't wait for Alumni Day. I need to figure out what that is so I can take my time off now, because Alumni Day is going to be lit this year. It is going to be lit. Now, I went last year, I went on Alumni Day, and then I went up there again to try to see, because I wanted to see Shador when the Browns came to town. But I already know with Sean Mannion up there and all of this nonsense that's going on, it is going to be packed in camp. Plus, there's less camp, right? There's less camp because of the new schedule and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm getting up there, man. I'm getting up there. I got to see it for myself. So, Joel, I say they're a hit piece, but I agree with you. There is some truth to it. But in my opinion, the truth is mundane, meaning you could say that about anybody. You could say that about some of the stuff that they were saying in the article. You could say that about any quarterback. Any quarterback is going to suggest what they want to run, but a good offensive coordinator will say, no, we're not going to do that right now, because you got to be strong enough to do that. You watched the game. You saw what was working, especially if we just ran the same play. At the very least, you as the offensive coordinator got to say, dog, we just ran that same play. We got to do something different. They're expecting that. They know what it looks like. That's your job as the OC. Because at the end of the day, if your job is on the line because of play calling, then call the plays. Sometimes you got to override what the quarterback wants. You got to be able to think your way through that. And again, in my opinion, a lot of those games last year, we were losing a chess match. And one of the biggest reasons why we're losing that chess match is because we had no run block. So, Joel, you're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong at all. But I'm like, again, they was kind of moving the goalposts. But appreciate the comment, though. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited for Sean Mannion. Sean Mannion has mentioned some things that I personally want to see as a former running back. I want to see zone reads. I do want to see Jalen Hurts on the center. I know he don't like to do it, but I know he can do it. So damn it, just do it. And I don't mind looking at Jalen like, hey, dude, if this is what's gonna make it better, make it better. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. The offensive line is gonna be better. Can they stay healthy though? That's the question. Because our offensive line in 24 was the same situation as our defense in 23. Defense couldn't tackle to save their life in 23. Offensive line could run block to save their life in 24. Same game, different stadium. And it ended up costing us a prime opportunity to run it back. It bees like that sometimes. So, but all right, I'm done yelling. I look like I done out-talked the storm. I tell you what, man, this was a good crowd tonight. I think we rocked up to about 80. I'm still trying to get triple digits up there, but you know what? I might have to switch one of my nights to Thursday instead of Wednesday. Maybe I might do that. We got a lot of good stuff, and I got to figure out how to get StreamYard and TikTok rolling at the same time because I'm rolling TikTok on my phone. And I know I can do it on my other computer. So I gotta work on that a little bit more. So, but in any case, man, good conversation tonight. The chat was on fire tonight. Everybody that came on tonight, I appreciate you. Art, Chris, everybody. Cast the Barbarian. Appreciate y'all, man. Keep bringing that heat. I would like to do that a little bit more. What I want to do, and if you in the chat, this is what I'm asking. Tell all your friends about this because I want to have it a situation where we can have like 10, 20 people come on. And what I want to do is I'm going to have almost like a shot clock. Think of it like a play clock. And what I want to do is when we get people on, I'm going to start the play clock. So you got 3 minutes. You got a 3-minute play clock. Say what you got to say. You got 3 minutes to say it. If you finish early, you can just bow out. But if you go late, you might get cut off. Well, maybe I won't. I got to be nice. But 3 minutes is plenty of time. Or maybe we just do 2 minutes. We'll call it like a 2-minute drill. And people come on and just have their opportunity. You got 2 minutes to give your hot take, give your rant, spout your opinion, whatever you want to do. So I'm trying to get to the point where we can do more and more of that. And like you said, like you saw all night, nobody that came on had their camera on. You do not have to have your camera on. You don't have to have your camera on. Turn the camera off if you camera shy or your head is a mess, whatever the situation is. But I want to hear from you. Ladies, I want to hear from you. I got 2 sisters. If I don't have no ladies on my programs, I'm the one getting popped upside the head. Y'all got to help me out. So I definitely want to hear from the ladies as well. So I'm thinking about the way the turnout is going on the Thursdays. I might have to switch a day till Thursday. Maybe I'll bow out of the Wednesday night and just move it to Thursday night. So what y'all think about that? Is Thursday a good day? Because I know I'm going Friday too, but I think I might ease up on the Friday because Friday's people out and about. You know what I'm saying? Friday's out and about, but Thursday seems like a hit. Thursday seems like a hit, so we might have to do that, man. Might have to do that. 2 minutes to hit the buzzer. I'm about to do that. Hit him with the 5. You know what? Hold on for a second. I got that too. Wait a minute. Let me see. Hold on. Cancel. Wait a minute. I got hit him with the. I got all these sound effects. So yeah, we might have to do that, man. Might have to hit him with the sound effects. Yeah. Where's the they had the Among Us sound. 6, 7, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just having fun. So I might have to find the buzzer. Tiff, you want me to keep Wednesday? Just do Wednesday. Okay, that might be something to do. Maybe I'll do Wednesday and Thursday and Nick's Friday, since Friday is usually a light day. Maybe I'll do that. I could do that. So keep Wednesday. We'll rock on Thursday. Thursday will be the 2-minute drill, and then we'll mix Friday. That'll give me Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to just create content. So, okay. Hey, listen, I'm listening to the chat. I'm all about what y'all want. So if you want me to keep Wednesday, I'll keep Wednesday. So we'll do. So it looks like we'll do Monday. I'll do Monday night. Tuesday night is the Bald Eagles podcast, and then I'll do Thursday night. And do you want me to start at Thursday like at 9? I started at 9:30 because I had some things to do. I was going to start at 9. Is 9 good or is 9:30 better? Because I'm trying to get earlier than 10, because 10 runs me into like 11:30, and I don't want to go that late. So is 9 o'clock Eastern time good for y'all? All my people on the West Coast, Chris 3K, is 9 o'clock good for you on Thursday night? Because I might move the whole thing like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, everything at 9 o'clock, just move it up instead of going at 10. So earlier than 10, okay. All right, man. I'm trying to keep it in the chat, man. I want to go with what works. Let me answer the last couple questions, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. What's up, Jay? Appreciate you, bro. Killer Del Murder. Do you think it was Sirianni off that he was running because it looks the same? Honestly, I don't think Sirianni is the best play caller. I think he can do it. I just don't think. I think they're better people. I think people do it better. Period. He knows what he wants to do. I just think, but this is what I mean when I'm talking about the chess match. It's one thing to have a list of 200 something plays. It's another thing to know those plays and to be able to mentally maneuver those on a chessboard to come up with a successful offensive scheme or defensive scheme. So the running aspect of it, that was our offensive line our run blocking was trash, bro. Like, we have a good offensive line and our run blocking was trash. Ain't no two ways about it. So I was doing videos about that, watching film on that during the season. It was ugly. UGLY ugly. So yeah, I think Sirianni has a good playbook, but again, think of it like a chessboard. A queen is a queen. She's the most powerful piece, but if you don't know how to use her, you still gonna lose. You still got to know how to use the pawns. You still got to know how to use the rooks. You still got to know how to use the bishops. So it's understanding, knowing how pieces move does not make you a good chess player. You got to know when, you got to know how, you got to know when to hold back, when to move forward, when to attack, when to wait, all those things. And we were losing the chess match a lot of games during the year. So hopefully that'll get a little bit better. I don't think, Panda, I don't think it's terrible. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's terrible because in the past we've seen where it was pretty good. It was the guy calling the plays. So I don't necessarily think it's terrible. I just think we need somebody better on the chessboard, in my opinion. I feel like if Shanahan and McVay had these offenses playing on pro while Sirianni's forcing the Eagles to play on all match. Possibly, Rock. Yeah. Panda, that's what I'm saying. They didn't change the playbook. You just had somebody new in there calling the plays. Listen, this is what I equated to. Okay. If I give you a box of Legos, what are you going to build with it? And I would bet that I could build something better than you. Because I got a mechanical design degree. I took architecture for 3 years in high school. So I know how to do that better than somebody that just likes to play with Legos. You understand what I'm saying? If I give you if we both got a box of crayons or some pencils, who can draw the best? Who can paint? If I give you some paint and a blank canvas, who gonna come up with a better mural? Somebody that knows how to paint. Just because you got the tools doesn't mean you know how to use them. So Sirianni's got a decent offense, but the play caller is everything. You got to know when and how, man. Yeah, Jay, we're going to bounce back, bro. All right, Ace. That's funny. Is it April Fools or is it April Fool? All right, man. I'm getting up out of here. All right, I'm gonna have some new promotions to do since we're gonna go Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we're gonna make Thursday the 2-minute drill. And that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the 2-minute drill. All right. So make sure you tell your friends. Make sure you have something to talk about. And guess what? If you don't want to talk about the Eagles, you ain't got to talk about the Eagles. You ain't got to be an Eagles fan. You can even be a Cowboys fan. Don't get it twisted. I talk football with anybody, even Cowboys fans. You're going to get the business, but I will talk to you. So it doesn't matter if you a Cowboys fan, a Denver fan, a Bengals fan, Cleveland Browns fan. I've been talking Cleveland Browns all summer. The whole thing with Shador. One of my things now, one of the reasons I want to go to camp is because I want to see Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton played 9 years in Cincinnati. You know I got love for my Cincinnati folk. So born and raised in Cincy. So yeah. So this is how we gonna do it. We still do it Monday. Monday we gonna go late. Monday we gonna do 9. Tuesday got the Bald Eagles podcast at 8 or 8:30. It depends on if Tone is on time coming from work. So Wednesday we gonna do 9, and Thursday we gonna do at 9:00. How that sound? And I'm gonna get some promotion out. I'm gonna be on my TikToks. I'm gonna be on my Instagrams, and we're gonna get the word out. All right, man. This has been a phenomenal conversation. I appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate everybody that joined the squad. All my draft picks that joined the squad today just kept on coming. I appreciate y'all. And do me a favor, tell your friends about me. I still haven't hit that goal yet. I still ain't got 100 yards in the game. I got to get over 100 people live on the stream. To me, that's how I look at 100 yards. I think I got up to like 80 yards for the game. I got to get triple digits. That's the goal, to get a consistent triple digits every one. Now that I know Thursday is the night, Thursday at 9:00, we're going to make that happen. All right? So next time you come to the stadium, when you're warming up, make sure you call your friend. Bring a friend. Bring somebody to the game. My goal is to be having 500 and 600 people. Be like G. Bush, 1,000 people on a live stream. Be like Tom Grossi, 15,000 live. You got to start somewhere. Why can't it be me? All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all have a good night. Looks like it's stopped raining, so I'm hungry now. I got a chef salad in the fridge, and I'm going to partake. So I will see y'all later. I appreciate you. Chat was hot tonight, man. But appreciate everybody, man. Thank you for coming on. And I will see you Monday. I will see you next Monday. All right? Holla at your boy. I'm gonna have some content tomorrow and probably over the weekend, because it's probably gonna be stories releasing WNBA stuff. all of that type of stuff. So, but we will be back here Monday, 9 o'clock. All right. I'll at you later.
Mic check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score roar. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide? Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.